Hi, I'm Kurnow. Welcome to my studio. Today I want to talk about substituting yarns. I hardly ever use the recommended yarn to knit a project. Sometimes it just isn't made anymore, or sometimes I'm too impatient to wait for the yarn store to order it. Therefore, I have learned to make substitutions. Sometimes my substitutions are successful, and sometimes not so much. In this blog, I will show you an example of each. An unhappy substitution. The lettuce coat is from page 83 of Wendy Bernard's book, Custom Knits. This lovely coat was the reason I bought the book in the first place. However, I couldn't find enough of one color of the recommended yarn, Malabrigo kettle-dyed merino, so I substituted another yarn that had the same weight and gauge when I made mine. Generally, this substitution is a mathematical decision. First, look at the original yarn and determine how many yards or meters are on a ball or skein. Multiply this by the number of balls and you have an idea of the total length of yarn needed to knit your sweater. Then find a substitute yarn that has the same number of stitches per inch using the same size needles and perform the same calculation to see how many balls of yarn to buy. I generally buy an extra ball just to be on the safe side. What this formula doesn't take into account, however, is the character of the yarn being substituted. The problem with my version of the lettuce coat is that even though I found a yarn that knitted with the same gauge, it was not as fluffy of a yarn as the Malabrigo merino, and I ended up with a limp, lacy looking coat instead of the beautiful coat pictured in the book. I do like the buttons I chose, so I will probably save those when I donate the coat to Goodwill. Then I will try all over again with a fluffier yarn. A happy ending. The lion neck cardigan featured on page 43 of Wendy's book was one that I almost didn't want to knit. It looks really warm, but it doesn't quite close in front, and I wasn't sure that I would wear it. But I dove in and tried anyway, and it is now one of my favorite sweaters. I can't wait to make one in another color. One factor that made that project so successful was that I found a good substitute for the recommended yarn, which was Rowan Yarn's classic soft tweed. Instead, I substituted Katia Peru in beige, which is a blend of 40% wool, 40% acrylic, and 20% alpaca. The sweater is lightweight but warm and goes with almost everything in my closet.